And as time flies by, you'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome back to Marbella Now. My name is Nicole King, and what a pleasure to be starting off the week with the guest sitting next to me. I hope you've had a fabulous weekend, that you've caught up with all our programs, but this one I know is going to be fun. You just never know who you're going to be sitting next to when you're in Marbella, and this was certainly the case a couple of Sundays ago. Thanks to beautiful Bex and Cara J. Carruthers, I was in La Scala, East Marbella, sitting with this lady, Emma. So nice to have met you and to have you now on my program. Welcome to Marbella Now.
I'm delighted, absolutely delighted.
We had such a fun time. I'm not a party person. I made all these plans for leaving early, and we ended up staying to the very fun end. And I can't believe I haven't met you before, because you've been here for a long time, Emma.
I have. I think we're into 17 years now.
What made you change to come here?
Well, the children were quite young, and I wanted them to become European. I didn't want them just to know their own country. I wanted them also to learn another language, which I am hopeless at. But most of all, I wanted the sun. I mean, Marbella, as a family, we've been coming here many years, and my brother lived here, so it was home from home.
When you chat and you talk the way you look, you have an elegance about you. And just when we were talking before, he said, oh yes, but you see, of course, my family, Lord so-and-so. Tell us about that. Because you've maintained every bit, even though you've been here so long.
Well, my stepfather was Lord Barber, brought VAT into Edward Heath. He was Edward Heath's Chancellor. One of the things I'm very proud about with him is that he also was on the campaign to free Mandela. He was part of the British government's negotiation package sent to South Africa to free Mandela.
Well, it's funny you say about Mandela. There's a lot of people talk about that they thought that Mandela died in the 80s, and we have this memory of it, and you're of a similar age, and I think about it because I think I was one of those who thought while I was living here in the 80s, and then suddenly he wasn't. But what a big difference to the world that made.
I actually grew up in Africa, so I had a Zulu nanny, because Mandela's Zulu. You're not a Zulu, you're Zulu, which means that you have this whole ethos. Very interesting. Yeah, so Mandela is clearly a very, very special individual.
You must have had a very peculiar, for want of a word, childhood, because obviously very influenced with politics.
I did.
Living abroad, very much
Yep.
in the making of the future of the British
Absolutely.
history as we know it.
Absolutely. I think I lived in the last vestiges of colonial Britain in Africa. And actually...
How did you feel about that?
Well, my parents, we left because it was too dangerous. It became seriously dangerous. I think we were robbed for the third time at this point at knife point. And my parents went, time to leave, which was very sad. We loved it, you know, it was beautiful. My parents weren't very happy with the British and the way that they did the whole elevated business. That wasn't great. But they say Africa marks you, and it does. So you're right, that's why I'm here. Because Britain, there's no sunset, there's no sky, it's the sky.
It's that openness that we have here at on the ocean.
In London, it's like the sky's a third, the buildings are 2/3, the sky's a third. Here it's reverse, and that makes me breathe. It makes me feel happy.
How did your
like it.
kids adapt to moving over here? Because it was quite different, I'm sure.
Yes, yes. I think very well, actually. I mean, it was always the plan. I looked at many other places because I'm in love with buildings. So France would have been wonderful because there's some beautiful buildings. Italy the same. But I needed an expat kind of community. And I think Marbella is centre of Europe for that, really.
It is, because we are such a big mix. I also
fantastic.
sense, and it came up that you're a very sensual person. You like buildings, but I feel
Love
that
buildings,
things
yes.
aren't just things to you. And I know that this is what I find curious, that someone who's spiritual, I think is the word I was looking for. You're very spiritual, but you're a builder. And I think it's kind of incongruous, but at the same time quite charming.
Well, you know, there's a question that everybody's asking themselves at this moment. A new question, perhaps, for some people, because when we grew up, we were segmented into various... You were an accountant, or if you were good at maths, you did that. There weren't that many options, and certainly for a woman, there were
What did
almost
your parents
no
want
option.
you to be? How did
I
they
had
see
two
your
choices:
future?
either learn to type or learn to cook, and that was it. Thankfully, I learned to type, which came in very handy. But there was no options. You were either super intelligent, went to university, or you didn't, and 90% of us didn't. So one day, I asked myself this question, you know, as an old lady, what do you want to look back on and say you did or you achieved? Love my children, but, you know, I thought, well, there can be that and some more things. One of the things that's always taken my heart is buildings, genuinely. I was very lucky as a girl. My father took me to all the capital cities, and we looked at everything from Rome, Greece. I loved that. And he was a surveyor. My mother was an estate agent. So it was houses and what you can do with them and how to make them better, or changing houses. And then it really became, for me, changing spaces. And when I first started looking at this, I looked at doing it from a different way, doing it from the point of the person, doing it from what a person needs, you know, what makes a home, how to make a small space lovely. That's a great fun project right now. I did 2 hotel suites in Puente Romano, and they were like 45 square meters. And how do you get a bath, a shower, a loo,
A suite.
a salon,
Yeah, you want to make a suite
all in
out
one
of that
space,
kind
and
of
hang your
space.
clothes up and put your suitcase away. So that was fun. But mostly, I think healing spaces, making spaces something that you want to live in, you want to be in. I guess lockdown has been very exciting for a lot of people in that, because I think just about everybody must have been thinking now about their space and how could they make it better. I read that Japanese lady's books about cleaning your spaces.
Oh, Maria Kondo.
That was fun.
I've done a few sessions of Maria Kondo, I have to say. And it really works, particularly the way she rolls up all the clothes. Now that makes a big difference. You can see all the colours.
I know. And liberating, quite fun.
I think a lot
you
of
don't
us
need
live
money.
in
You can
clutter
do that.
that we don't realise, and that seems to be the general consensus when your company's grace and space. I mean, look at you, graceful, and your niche is creating that illusion of space, making it usable. The small space, still making it work.
My best thing is to take a space, whether it be a villa or whatever, and reinvent it. That's
Does it
wonderful.
always involve construction work, or is it a lot of time just how people set up their furniture or declutter?
No, genuinely, the fun part is the construction part. And that is something that I decided very clearly as a woman I wanted to get involved in. I tried for clients and various people to use existing people and services, and I found they had very little passion. I mean, understand it from a man's point of view. He doesn't really care what tile you want, you know, whether it's white or grey or some do, some don't. But the majority buildery people, it's not important to them. So I wanted to bring the whole thing together. Yeah, that's
So do you
my
do it
niche.
yourself, or you have your own hired
Yes.
team that is always yours, so you know you can train them the way you
we're
want?
a family business, so my husband, who's ex-Scots Guards,
Oh, nice.
so he does he's very talented on the building aspect. I'm involved with the design and recreating the space. My daughter is involved in putting all that on a computer, which is fantastic, and helping with the design. And I do the money, and I do the evaluation of what people want. You know, what's actually going to work with the building, and how is that all going to hang together, and how much is it going to cost. And that's taken me a lot of time to learn.
Well, obviously you do
All
it
the time.
beautifully, because the testament to do 2 suites at the Puente Romano, such a renowned hotel. They don't just go through a book and choose eeny, meeny, miny, mo. That comes through years of
Yes.
satisfactory clients.
Yes. Well, for many years, I was the builder in the Persian gardens. So we made all the horrible little silly repairs in this rather magnificent place. At that time, it was quite decayed because we'd just been through the recession. So I found myself painting the wall, or, you know, which was great. And from that, we met lots of nice people, and they saw that we were workers and that we were hands-on and that we were passionate about what we did. And from that, things started happening.
I would imagine you're quite busy now, I would hope, with, as you say, people taking, I think, more value for the things that really matter. Being at home with family, having the right space to be at home with family. Apart from clutter, what are the biggest mistakes we make?
Living with other people's decor. I think everybody's an individual, and everybody sees beauty differently. Your colours might be pastel. They might be hot colour here or there. But then you've got to take into consideration the practicality of that, the light in each room. Here we have a lot of light, so perhaps the strong colours that we may have liked to cheer up our London home don't really work here. They look too strong in this beautiful light we have here. But it's kind of fun. It's a bit of a journey. If I ask you, what colour is your favourite colour? What colour is your home now?
Well, it depends. At the moment, I'm into a lot more peaceful, like the calmer colours,
Okay.
I would say. But I'm really a
Okay.
pink and a fuchsia,
Okay.
turquoise,
Right.
blue.
So then pastel colours?
I would
Something
say-
calming,
yeah.
ice creamy colours,
Yeah.
soft.
Yeah. At the moment, I'm in that kind of...
That's healing, that's relaxing, and like I say, works well with the sun. I think the Pantone colour for this moment is a sort of royal blue, and yellow perhaps. Yeah, blue last year, yellow this year.
It's nice because even homes have trends. Quickly, before we go to the break, do you also do staging when people are selling? Because that's important, isn't it?
Very
If
much
you're
so.
trying to sell,
Absolutely.
getting that house modernised, like we see the Property Brothers and things like that.
Absolutely. I do makeovers, deep cleaning, all of it. Concierge.
No job too small? No task too big?
It's about the client. It's about how we interact well. Generally, my clients don't live here, so they need me in a wide capacity, not just as the builder, but someone to look after the home and to take care. After the rains and there's going to be, I guess, a few people returning to their homes a little dismayed because
Yeah, well, you know
after
something,
a year, for some
having
people.
met you, Emma, now for the second time, grace and space, I think, sums it up beautifully. You are gracefulness personified. I feel very zen at the moment. I feel very calm, but at the same time enthused with your enthusiasm for what you do. I think the perfect ingredients if you want to. Also, a lot of people now traveling to come here just because they're working from home. Why not? You can work from Thailand, you can work from Marbella.
That's very exciting.
Emma, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you next time.
You.
We're going over now to a quick break. Don't go away.
Judy likes to consider herself a clever young woman, which is why she thought very carefully before choosing her insurance company. Now that she needs it, she's jolly glad she chose Linear Director, as it looks as if she might have something better to do. Why don't you be clever, like Judy? Call Linear Director on 952 14 78 34 and see which policy is best for you.
When I'm the designated driver, I think it's only fair that I get to choose a zero-hero venue that rewards me with free soft drinks. My friends all get to choose and booze, and they feel safe going home with me. Make sure that you get your reward for being the designated driver. Why pay if you don't have to?
Hi guys, Ross here from Hogan Stand. Proud to be a member of the Zero Hero campaign. And we recommend everybody. Nobody drives drinking. Everybody who drives a car doesn't have any alcohol in their system, and we're proud to sponsor the Zero Hero program.
Our welcome Zero Heroes. How many visitors?
GWine is happy to be Zero Hero partner.
How cool is that? GWine.
Thank you.
No time to hesitate.
But
okay.
I'm proud to present Zero the Hero. Never drink and drive.
Poison arrows shoot straight to your
McNulty's is proud to be a Zero Hero partner.
hand if we try.
Out of bounds, Zero Hero partners.
Here we are, sticker going on. Delighted to welcome everybody and to be part of the Zero Hero campaign. Delighted.
Zero Hero, welcome here at the Gaucho de Banús.
We are at one.
And welcome to Lemongrass, Doña Lola. Thank you very much.
Let the feeling into your soul. Let it set you on your way. No need to.
Zero Hero, welcome to Portofino, Cabo Pino.
There'll be no trouble.
Welcome back to Marbella Now. I was chatting in the first half with Emma, and Emma is Bella's mummy, and together they are Grace and Space. I met them both a couple of Sundays ago at La Scala restaurant, a new Zero Hero venue. I have to say I had a fabulous time. The service was great. We had a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, particularly getting to meet these two young ladies. Bella, you work with Mummy now. That's exciting.
I do. It's a roller coaster every day, but I wake up with a bounce in my step, that's for sure.
Well, that's nice, because you obviously, having seen you together, get on really well together, and that's nice. Plus, you're creating beautiful spaces for other people so that they can feel at home and good about themselves. So that must make you feel good about yourself.
It's a wonderful feeling. You meet new people all the time, and within half an hour, you know, you're trying to size up exactly what this person is going to want, what their requirements will be, what they haven't thought of and they haven't mentioned that you can also bring to the table. And we've had a whole variety, from Belgium to Scottish to German to American. There's been a huge range of people that we've now worked for. And in that time, the experience, I've now been working for the family company for about 5 years. It's been exceptional. It's been really, really great.
I imagine for the family, it's nice having the younger perspective, because we have an affluent young community in Marbella as well. I mean, there's money to spend with kids your age, and then also families that have children, that there are certain ways that things now that people expect perhaps that my generation, you know, I know your mum's up on things, but do you find that you can add those different looks in there?
I'm glad you've said that, because I like to think so. I mean, we had this recently. We were doing a lovely project for some clients in Ventura del Mar on the beachfront of Puerto Banús. We had done various areas of the whole apartment from a beautiful penthouse duplex. And it came to this silly little thing with the bathroom. You know, we're choosing these beautiful marble tiles, and my mother's going, we'll go for that one, you know, that's lovely. And I'm going, boring, we've done it, you know, stop, choose something else. And in the end we went for this really beautiful cubist style marble piece that we had all around the bathroom, and then we had some coloured LED lights, and I got to put in my stamp a little bit just to say, look, we can go a little bit more wild, you know.
It's nice that you're graduating, you've been there 5 years, and it's nice that you're beginning to strut your stuff, which is obviously...
What's great is working with a family, you can be very honest, so you know, you can turn around and go, listen, no, it's not working. Please listen to me. And as a family, you can all just put it out on the table, which is a really nice way to work. You know, it's what's the word for it? The fact that you can just be who you want to be, you can say what you want to say, and you're going to be listened to as well.
Well, it's nice in your family that that's the case. Unfortunately, it's not the case in all families, but it's lovely that you have this idyllic, this idyllic set. No, but at work that you have your parameters and each one has your role, so that's really nice. Did you come straight, like here from South Africa to move to Marbella? Was it via England? What was your experience? How do you remember it all?
Well, I was born in London. I have very vivid memories of London as a little girl. I went to school in Surrey, in Daneshill School, which was in Cobham. Daneshill in Cobham.
Oh, I thought you said Danesfield, because I went to Danesfield in Walton-on-Thames, so very close in Surrey.
Well, I know Walton-on-Thames very well too. So that's where my beginning days were. My father was part Italian. He passed away when I was 11, but I spent a lot of time with him as well. And just lots of vivid memories of weekends with my family and birthdays in Hyde Park, and we were quite closely knitted together. I used to spend my afternoons with my brother and at my grandmother's, who was married to Tony Barber. So vivid memories.
Lord
also,
Barber,
yes,
who brought in VAT.
Being in this huge garden with various statues, and there was a man, what was he called? He was called Ron, and he used to look after all the grounds. So he'd come up to me with his bacon packets of strips, and I'd sit and chat with him in the garden, and it was a very nice time to be alive. But things were changing in the UK, and my mother could feel that. She had met my stepfather, Peter, and together they started a fantastic construction interior design company. We then brought it over here, and the whole new adventure started.
Did it feel like an adventure for you, or at the time, because children sometimes it could be traumatic and we don't appreciate what they're going through.
It was like being a ball in a very, very big basket. And you were just moving around all the time, whatever was the flow, you just had to go with it. You know, when we first got here, we moved into a lot of different rentals. We had bought a property that we were doing up, but it was originally a barn, you know, it wasn't livable. I think we were in about 7 different rental properties in the space of sort of 2-3 years. I mean, it was bonkers. But we were in really beautiful, authentic Spanish areas here in Andalusia. And I got to grow up again in a very natural, picturesque location. I went to Sota Grande International School, which was very different to England, completely different crowd, and again had to learn how to be resilient, but learnt a lot as well. And also,
I don't like the sound of that, learn how to be resilient.
Well, school, we're all resilient, aren't we?
Yes, you have to be, but it's a shame that things don't change in that respect.
Well, I think they are. I think maybe my generation were the last chapter of still being a little bit petty and a bit, you know, it can be difficult for all of us. But we're all trying to figure out who we are, and it takes a lot of time. I had my son after I finished school. I went to London to do graphic design and art. But having my son was then the next step of learning a lot about me, and definitely gets me up early in the morning, gives you a spring in your step to get going on the day and make some money.
Nice for him to have a young mummy and a young grandma, be living in such an idyllic area, but also that you guys are able to make the most of that and seize the opportunities, people working from home more now, which will mean wanting to make our homes nicer.
Yes.
And so hopefully I hope with you guys that means a lot more business and a lot more, challenging projects.
Absolutely. We've started one at the moment. We're in the Persian Gardens in Puente Romano. We're doing a beautiful 2-bedroom conversion, changing it into a 3-bed and doing an open plan living room kitchen area. So I've been working on the designs for that at the moment. And that's been really exciting. And doing that with my mother, it's a joy. It's nice.
Is your brother involved, or is he doing other things?
No, my brother is in Devon with his very beautiful wife and
lovely.
newly born son, Lawrence.
Congratulations.
Yes, I became an auntie a few months ago, which was very exciting.
It is exciting.
My brother went on to do international law, and he's done fantastic. He's been very successful. He studied at Exeter. He went to Belgium, to International University of Europe, and he's flown around with flying colours. Very smart boy.
Well, he's a very smart young woman as well.
I was more the artsy-fartsy one, but...
Hey, there's a lot to be said for artsy-fartsy. A lot of people make a lot of money from being artsy-fartsy.
I think Marbella is a good place
I
to
always
be
think
if you're
of Jim Carrey
artsy-fartsy.
when he said in the movie Liar, Liar, and he said about the face sticking and making, and he said, I made a good living from making funny faces. In the sense of, do you know what I mean?
My son's favourite, we love Pet Detective.
Well, in the sense of, there is a place for everyone, and I think that is a nice part of Marbella, that everyone can be themselves.
Well, that's what I love about here. You know, I'm from London, and I go back regularly, and being on those streets, I do love it. You've got every type of person waltzing those streets. However, it's a huge place. You come to Marbella, it's a very, very small area for what we have here. But the variation of people, I mean, it's what makes lunching so diverse. You know, last Sunday with us at La Scala, that was fabulous.
I love it, lunching. You could just see the breeding, darling. I mean, we're lunging.
I got ready that morning, and I remember putting my skirt on, and I thought, I wonder what today's going to bring. I thought, well, we'll go with the flow, and we'll see what presents itself. And as soon as I sat down, I thought, it's going to be a good afternoon. As soon as the music started as well.
Wow, he was really good. Oh my gosh.
I don't know his name.
No, I was just going to say,
wish I could say.
Me neither, and I asked, but I mean, really,
really good. He did an Oasis version that was on point.
Yeah, I have to say that we are so blessed in Marbella that you can be having not only an excellent meal, but then be entertained, and even with restrictions and everything imposing, if we're allowed out, we're out.
We're here in Marbella, we're all definitely people with flavour. You know,
and I imagine you must meet a lot of clients just by doing that.
Oh, totally.
Because it's really, it's how you feel, isn't it? If you click with somebody, too many people try and sell themselves, I think. And Marbella is a lot smaller than people think.
This is the thing, everyone here knows everyone. And, you know, I mean, our company has succeeded from word of mouth. That is what has given us our gravitas. We've now done about 16 projects in Puente Romano in total. And that has been a non-stop ball rolling. And that is through creative people here recognising something different, recognising flair, and it's exciting. You know, here at the moment, since the recession, Marbella has flourished. It really has. And okay, COVID-19 has been a bit of a step back, but we're not in trouble here. I think people are feeling excited again to be out, to be socialising. People are making money, there's deals going on, and it's the next step. Welcome 2021.
Exactly, just keep that positive attitude as you're doing.
Yeah.
And just before we finish, a girl your age, you're a single mom, do you get to go out at all? How do you get a social scene for your age group?
This is where I'm going to sound really boring. I must admit, work swallows me up. Don't get me wrong, I had several years of going down to Banús and Marbella and having my good old times, and every Friday, without a doubt, I was putting my frock on. But it got to a point where actually my whole energy needed to be in work. And, you know, I'm a total weakling. If I have a hangover, I don't want to do anything for anyone. I want to sit on that sofa and not move.
It's age is an age for everything, I'm sorry to say.
But at 18, I couldn't really do it either.
Well, the nice thing is that there's always a mixed age group at tables, in the sense, I mean, the group I went out with was Sunday were half my age. But everyone just gets together if you've got the same philosophy and mentality.
Yeah. My mother always brought us to the get-togethers at New Year's and so on. My brother and I were sat at tables with the 50, 60, 70-year-olds, and to be honest, it was the elderly that I most got along with.
Well, I actually wanted to bring my kids up in Spain more than anything because You can take them out. You don't have to leave them at home. They
It's a
don't have to
much
miss
more
out on the
open
experience.
lifestyle.
And the waiters would help us
So
carry
much
them
more
to the
playful.
car,
Yeah.
so that wouldn't wake them up. And
Yeah.
it's a mucher way of living.
I love being on the streets in Marbella at night when you can hear the children laughing and running around. You know, the energy is wonderful. You don't have that in the UK.
Well,
It's something we miss.
I've got a few people here in my mind that I want you to meet that I know that you're going to get on with well, because
I
once
look
that
forward to
chain
it.
starts, anyway, we have to leave it there for the moment. But Grace and Space, Bella,
Space and Grace.
Space and Grace. Well, for me, it's just a grace just overwhelms. But
Thank
Space
you.
and Grace, the spaces are done so gracefully, and Bella with her mummy Emma and their stepdad Peter.
Yes.
Make a really good team, and you have that guarantee that they're behind it. And I think a lot of us, when we do different projects, that is the biggest fear.
Absolutely.
So knowing that you've got someone that's recommended and
Looking after our client.
making after their interest with that, again, that love, because I kind of think you, as you're saying your feelings or memories of London through your dad, your mum talking about her memories of looking at those buildings with her dad.
Yeah.
And I just feel that that transmits through everything you guys are creating for others.
My mother and I have got a lot of energy together. We've got a lot of ideas, and it's just been really, really exciting the more we've clicked and the more ideas we've got flowing together. It's very exciting.
Wonderful. I hope that energy just flows through the screen. We'll be back again tomorrow. Thank you, sweetheart. We'll be back again tomorrow with more things that are going on in Marbella Now, and the people who make it matter. Take care of yourselves. Be nice to each other. Y hasta mañana.